You were just talking about how
Or
you're looking for something specific for NASDAQ. So you
yeah,
had a decent foundation with trading, taking a few courses, and then how did you find us?
I look at like every single trader follow like a really good traders, not like the like scams and all this stuff. And one of the followers that Raul has in Q, it was you. It was like a follower on common. And I found out about you. You were, the real master of NAS 100. So I was like, this is what I'm looking for, and this is what I need for me to understand better NAS, how it moves, how the fundamentals affect the indices. And I started following you. I started to jump on the live streams that you did last year, and I started to understand it more this pair. And when you released the first master class, I was like, no, I need to take it. I need to take it. I didn't hesitate it. I grabbed my seat, and when I finished the master class, it was like a game changer because while you explained it, it was from A to Z your strategy. It's not just like the simple strategy, but what the strategy offers you is to be more confident on your entries, on your exits, what you're looking for, what you don't have to do, and if the setup is not available, so there is no need for FOMO. And that's what I realized when you have something like a plan, like a trading plan, those emotions, there is no room for those emotions. You have to work like really hard with your psychology as well. It's part of the process. But when you have like the trading plan, that helps out you a lot. Trust me. I was like all the traders, like the beginning traders, because I'm still a student, and I'm gonna be a student like the whole life. But at the beginning, I was like with the FOMO, with trying to predict the market, trying to chase the trade, and trying to trade every day. Now with my second master class that I took this year with you, the last one, that was fantastic because I learned on the first one, I learned a lot, the strategy and all that information that you release. But in this second, like I feel that like I have my process of understanding this pair has increased a lot
Mhm.
now with this second master class.
So what it seems like is like when somebody retakes a class, what you have now is because you were already successful or starting to get that success after the first class, but because you had experience, when you took it again, you have context. So when you're learning these concepts, you're like, oh, I've seen this before. And because you can match it up, you're able to learn a lot more from it. Now, why did you choose to take the master class again?
Because for me, I knew, well, you told you were saying that it was going to be the last master class, and that is was going to be more like you're going to dive in more in depth on this pair. So I was like, if he says something like that, it's because something he's gonna add something, or he's gonna throw some gems that he's saving for the last masterclass. I was like, and honestly, that happened.
More or less, because I think all the classes were about the same, but because it's so much information, when you take the class the first time, there's only certain things that you need to add to your system that's going to take your results to the next level. The next time you take it, there wasn't necessarily so much new things. It was just you had already solved a lot of your own problems. There was just some
Hmm.
small details that you never paid attention to, and now you're working on that last
Okay.
mile. And that's why it felt like there was so much new stuff. It's because the most important things you learned the first time are already done. Now it's time to focus on the small details.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's think back to your trading before the class and after. So you still had a solid foundation. Now, when you're looking back, what do you feel like you were missing?
Like what I'm missing right now.
No, when you like now that you like when you look back at your old trading and
Hmm.
now that you have perspective, what do you feel like you were missing back then? Like to get to the point where you're consistent and you're profitable and you're more confident.
Yeah. Well. like the trading plan. I was trading without a trading plan. I was like trading lost in the markets, like doing nothing, chasing the market, no understanding what I'm doing. Now that I have the trading plan, all the strategy, I am more selective on my trades. I am, I don't over leverage. I used to over leverage because I wanted to make, like profits quick. I was able before I took your first master class, I was able to take one account from 200 to $1,000, but without any foundation, any trading plan. So I was gambling. I was winning, yeah, but I was gambling. So for me, I saw it like not I was winning, but I was like having luck,
Hmm.
being lucky, just being lucky, honestly. Now I
It is.
was, go
I
ahead.
didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so like right now with the strategy and what you say, yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the small details that now that you have like this foundation, everything make more sense and you're being I have been respecting my trading plan like how it's supposed to be.
So like you now that you're focused on NASDAQ mainly and you have a good system, what have you learned about NASDAQ so far?
Well that is based off on the 100 tech companies, but it's just moved by Google, Amazon, Microsoft,
I
so
mean,
that you have.
in more specific, like what have you learned about trading NAS? Like for me, I learned that like the top 10 rules that we cover in the
Mhm.
class. That's what I learned about trading NAS. I learned that NASDAQ, you know, over time moves bullish because that's just the
Yeah.
overall direction of where the American stock market is going. I learned that if you overstay your welcome, you're going to get burned. I learned that if you try
Wow.
to leverage, the volatility is so high that you could get margin called or you could lose the account before the trade plays out. So these are certain things I learned from trading NAS. Like, what's your take?
Yeah. Yeah. You're totally right. Yeah. Yeah. The same thing. I mean, this pair is like, yeah, this pair is to respect it because the market is gonna humble you, like if you don't treat it like the right way. Yeah, I burned like two accounts with NAS over leveraging. It's that overstaying. Before I was overstaying my welcomes. Right now, I don't overstay my welcomes. I learned how to take partials. To take something out of the table before the markets do whatever it does.
There you go. Can you
So
talk
yeah,
about the learning process? Like, do you have a job? Do you have other responsibilities? And how did you balance learning how to trade and then the rest of your life?
it's been tough for me. It's been tough for me because I've been working on the construction. So I work like early mornings until like late afternoons, 5:30 in the afternoon, sometimes 6. And I've been trying to, to make the time to go in the charts at the market open, maybe roughly after like 10:30, 11. If the setup doesn't show up at 11, I'm just done for the day. Because at the beginning, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was, after I took my first master class, I was like, oh no, I was looking at the pair and I noticed that on the market open is gonna be like one push, a high volume, and after lunch it's gonna be the rest of the volume. So I was focused. I was like, all right, if I don't catch the move during the your open, I can still make some profits on the after lunch. But that was killing me. That was killing my profit. That was killing my account, and that's how I burned my account. So I learned that in the hard way. So right now, I respect that. I started trading from 9:30 until roughly 11. If there doesn't happen anything, I'm just done for the day, and I'll jump in the charts and the afternoon to analyze what the market did.
There you go. A lot of people put so much emphasis on discipline because they think, okay, I need to walk away from the charts, and that requires discipline. When you know enough about your pair because you've back tested it or whatever instrument you're trading, and you know when it's going to move, it's a lot easier to be disciplined or to have patience. You know that it's not going to happen within this time. And so you're either going to walk away or you're going to spend all day on the charts. Like you're no longer just hoping that something happens, where I think a lot of the problems come from for traders.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
There you
you're
go.
right.
So let's go through and talk about there's so many different questions. Okay, so what advice would you give to your old self now that you have some foundation and you really have momentum and success? What would
Right.
you tell your old self if they were listening?
Like it's a trading is a long journey, it's a long process, and you have to find a mentor. You have to find the right mentor and find a pair what you want to master. For me, I have seen, because before I was looking like 3 or 4 different pairs. I used to look at gold. I used to look at GJ. I used to look at NAS. I used to look at US 30 XP and 500. And I was like, what am I doing? I mean, I'm not doing anything because I'm just taking a trade on gold because I see this and this and that, and that trade become a loss. I was trading S&P 500 that I never traded before, and that one become a loss. So I was like, no, just stick to one instrument, one session. That's it, and one strategy. That's it.
Why
That's it's simple like that.
but you were doing that for a reason back then. So why were you looking at so many different things?
Because I was seeing like these different type of traders, expert traders, that they were doing the same thing, like Anthony's world, like you, like Ryan. But I didn't realize that they had a plan. They had a strategy already on place, and they had like more than 5 years of experience. So they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were looking for, and they were being in the charts for like so many years. And I was trying to do the same thing. I was like, no, if they can do it, I will do it the same. And that's not how it works.
For sure. It's like watching a professional athlete do something and they make it look easy. And so you're like, well, I can do the same thing until you go try it. And then you realize,
It's
what experience really does. That's awesome.
exactly that's how like people been saying in the live streams, or like, oh no, Roy make it look like easy, this is easy. I mean, he make it look like it's easy because he's been, putting the time on the charts, and he's had like these so many years of experience trading this instrument. So that for him is easier because he already know what he's looking for. His trading plan is on point, his psychology and everything. So that's what we have to do. That's what we need to start, following.
And experience is one thing, but if you're doing the wrong thing for a long time, it's going to work against you. And so even though I've been trading indices for a long time, I don't even count a few of those years until I got my plan together and I've been trading the same system, the same model, the same time. That's when I realized like that is my experience. Because everything
Right.
before that I feel like had built bad habits that I've had to break since then. You get
Right. Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
this, everyone's like, oh, I finally found this strategy, which is my experience with a lot of people who take the class is after they're done, they get a little overconfident 3 or 4 weeks later. And they start to either over leverage or over trade, or they start getting too comfortable and now they're trading on the go or they're trading from their phone when they would normally just trade from the computer. And
Mhm.
so did you have any issues with having to stay disciplined once you realized that you were on a winning streak or you started to have success?
Honestly, no, because right now I'm more. I already made the mistakes that put me on the bottom line, like to put me on. What are you doing? You want to become a really to master one NAS 100. So what you did before is not gonna put you in that place. So I mean, I'm focusing more on the process. I'm doing like baby steps because I wanted to master. I'm not focusing right now on the money. I'm just focusing right now on the process, on doing the right thing, respecting my trading plan, understanding better like the strategy that you teach me, and to be more confident taking the trades. Because I can tell you that sometimes or most of the times I know when to enter or where or which area I'm gonna be looking for, but I hesitate to take the trade. But I know that is gonna, I'm gonna overcome that with the time and time put in on the charts.
There you go. Did you got a bright future ahead of you? You have a very good year ahead of you because this mentality that you have now that you have a system, this is the beginning and not the end. So now you're just focusing on the process, making sure you stick to your rules. You've
Yeah,
mentioned all of your priorities on the process and on the plan and on just following the system. And that's why I have a lot of hope for what you're going to do in the future now. I have two more
yeah,
questions real quick. So a lot of
yeah,
people
sir.
watch the live streams, but they don't take the courses or they don't want to take the master class. What was your perspective at first when you heard about the class or when you saw the strategy, and then why did you decide to finally get in?
Because I mean, it's yeah, you on the live stream you share your knowledge to the point that you can, but I mean, if you're offering a master class, a private class that you're gonna be focusing on teaching the people your strategy from A to Z and your foundation, that's not gonna happen on the live streams. On the live streams, you can share your knowledge, you can go over fundamentals. That is not gonna be like a big deal. And but your strategy, you have to, just I mean, take the master class because there's no way that you on the live stream. Yeah, you can say, all right, you can. We're watching these zones, and you put your Fibonacci, and these are the levels. But the people on the live stream are like, all right, yeah, let me copy it, let me put the Fibonacci, but they don't know, they didn't understand why,
For sure.
how, and where to to find those levels or find those entries and find the exit.
That's incredible.
That's
So
yeah,
that's the way I look at it is that the live stream is to demonstrate what we learn in the masterclass. So the classes are for education, but the live stream is for demonstration because I have to show you how it works in real time in the real market
hmm
environment, not just the concept or a theory that we do in the classes. And so people watch the live streams and they don't understand the context. So they're just
exactly.
going through the motions. The people that take the class and then go back to the live streams, those are the most dangerous people because you don't have to spend now 2 years to learn a strategy. You already know the strategy. Now you're getting your reps in. And for most people, the learning phase takes 2, maybe 3 years to learn everything you need to know. And then the clock starts for when they have to be consistent. When you learn the
Right.
system right away and you have someone demonstrating it, every day is a rep, towards,
Right.
building that consistency.
And it's I mean, it's been incredible, like an incredible process after my two master classes and jumping into. I don't miss a live stream. And I know and I realize that I'm been doing better and better every day because when you explain something and when you explain the zones that you're looking for, where to play your fifths and all that stuff, I already did that on my pre-analysis before the market opens. So when I have that type of accuracy, that all right, Ray's looking for this and that. I already have that marked down. I know that I'm doing really good. And even though I've been taking like the last 3 days, I had three days just losses. But I mean, with my risk management is on point and everything, so I'm just risking 0.5% of my account. So, and I like to take those losses because at some point I take my entries really good. It was on point. That was my setup. For some reason, it didn't go my way. It went on my against me, touched my stop loss. That's it. I walk away. And the afternoon, I reanalyze what I did wrong, what happened, what was the market showing me that I didn't see at the moment, and I feel happy because I know and I learn from that, and I move on. I don't know what I did before that. I was like, when I was facing a loss, I was like feeling like, no, this is not for me. This is so hard. What I lost this, what I lost that, because I was over leveraging. So I was losing a lot of money. For right now, my losses are in control because of my risk management. And it took me, I will say, like after the first masterclass to really understand the risk management part.
That's incredible. All right, so if you guys are
Yeah.
listening to this, for all the aspiring traders, this we always want to look at folks who have taken some kind of education, but been able to use it and been able to be successful and be consistent. And so this conversation has been mostly focused on the value of having a plan and having a strategy. So that everyone talks about you need to have a good strategy, but when you really know what you're looking for, it takes care of the patience. It takes care of the discipline. Because when you don't know what you're looking for, you're going to jump into everything that looks like an opportunity. If you don't know what you're waiting for, how are you going to know when it shows up? So that's why people get impatient and make mistakes. So 90% of trading mistakes can be eliminated by having a solid plan, by having a clear strategy that you're trusting, and then having a good outlook because you're not focused on the money. And then you have a long-term outlook. So you're willing to give this time to work out and to build those habits. So if you guys are listening, this is a masterclass right here and what it's going to take to
Yeah.
be able to be consistent and then obviously make progress for a long time. So I appreciate you sharing that with everybody.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Why not to share this knowledge that that you share with us? And
Amen.
it's a really high value. It's a really high value.
For
So
sure.
that's why, I mean, when I jump on the live streams and I see these people like don't take the things seriously, and they start just like, instead of asking like really good questions, they just ask dumb questions, or they just do something to piss you off. And I laughed and I was like, Roy's not gonna do anything. He's just gonna slap them in the face and with some knowledge content, and that's what happened. So I was like, now these guys, they better find something else to do, like for real.
For sure. I mean, bro, you can't help everybody. And it's a lot of fun. Like I hope people understand when I'm going at people on the chats, I don't actually care because it really is as simple
Yeah,
as picking people out. But then again, we're sitting there, we are waiting for the entry. As much as I,
yeah,
I know what I'm looking for and I'm patient, I got 1,000 eyeballs just staring at me, just waiting for the next thing. And so we'll keep it fun. We'll put some people on skates.
yeah,
But the whole point is that we know exactly what we're waiting for and that we're just letting that cook in the or bake in the oven. And then
yeah.
once that happens, we can keep ourselves busy with some fun. But I appreciate you
Yeah,
sharing by, bro.
yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that because I was like, missing on my levels of the fifth when I was placing that, and you explained that on I think it was on the last day of the master class. Oh no, I think it was like the third day, that looking for the entries on the smaller time frame. That was like boom. I knew something was out of place. When you mentioned that, I back tested. I put my fifths and I realized that, yep,
Because
that works.
it's easy to get lazy because when we do the analysis day, and I'm like, all right, make sure you get to the higher time frames first so you can build some
Right.
context and then build down. People and then all I focus on the third and fourth day is just the daily entry strategy. So they're like, all right, I'm going to skip the higher time frame analysis and just stick to the smaller time frames. It's like do it all together. But then once
Yep.
you realize that you can scale down to find those precision entries, that's where your life changes because you know
Yeah.
exactly what you're looking at now. It's not like, oh, I draw the fib and just take an entry. It's like, no, no. Now I know exactly how to get the precision entry.
Exactly. Yep. That's correct. And now I'm just like what you say, 88.6 boys, man.
That new merge coming soon. All right,
Yeah, man.
take it easy, y'all.